Here we're going to work a few more problems using our ideas of the rules of positive and negative numbers, how to add and subtract them. So our very first problem here says negative 8 minus negative 8. Well, technically, remember your subtraction or your negative or your minus sign is the opposite of. Those are all the exact same thing. So this literally says the opposite of negative 8. Well, before I did anything else, I would clean that up a bit. The opposite of negative 8 is technically a positive 8. So if we rewrote this problem, it would be negative 8 plus 8. Now let's look at it. When we are adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers, we have to focus on the rules. And the rules say if the signs are different, then we would subtract. So 8 minus 8 is 0. Now 0 is neither positive nor negative. Remember, it's Switzerland. It's neutral. So that would be the end of our answer there. On the next one, we have our signs are different. The 42 is a positive number, and then you're subtracting 55, which means that 55 is negative. So since they are the opposite sign, we're supposed to subtract. The easiest way possible would be 55 minus 42 is 13. And then because 55 is bigger than 42, we keep that number's sign. So our answer then would be negative 13. Okay, our next one says negative 5 minus 8. Here our signs are the same. These are both negative numbers. So we would add 5 and 8 would be 13, and then we would keep the sign. Because they're both negative, the answer would be negative. Now let's work a couple of word type problems so we can see how to set those up. Remember, with your word problems, stuff that we've covered before, we've talked about those key words that tell you how to translate from our words, our English words, into mathematical notation. So here we have find the difference of negative 22 and 3. So the difference of, that's our key word, and that means subtract. Well, we also have to know what we're subtracting. And we're subtracting a negative 22 and a negative 3. So this is the way the problem is set up. Now the first thing I notice is we have minus a negative 3, or another way of saying that would be the opposite of negative 3. So the opposite of negative 3 is technically a positive 3. We could rewrite that as negative 22 plus 3, and now our rules truly take over. We have opposite signs, so we would subtract. 22 minus 3 would be 19, and because 22 is a larger number, we would keep that sign, so our answer would be negative 19. In our next problem, it tells us to subtract a negative 12 from a 2. Well, our key word here being subtract, so we know we're going to be minusing something. You have to really pay attention because this one has very weird wording. We are subtracting, or we're taking away this number from this number, which means when we set it up, we have to show it that we are taking away the negative 12 from the 2. This literally says 2 minus a negative 12. And then because we have this double negative here, minus a negative, that's truly a positive 12. So if we rewrite it, that would be 2 plus 12, which we know is 14. But remember, the signs are the same, so we would add and keep the sign the same. In our last problem here, we have 4 different items going on, but notice that we have a minus a negative 12. That is the opposite of negative 12, which is a positive 12. So we could rewrite this as negative 3 plus 4 plus 12 minus 10, and then doing 2 things at a time. Here we have opposite signs, so we would subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. Now the 1 and the 12, the signs are the same, so we would add and keep the sign the same. And now 13 minus 10, the signs are different, so we would subtract and keep the sign of the larger number.